Hello. So this is my first ever video. So it might have some problems, but I just want to show you guys my work process and how to get this done because I couldn't find really any other videos on how to do this. If you found the video helpful, consider giving me a like and subscribe. Okay, so in this video, I'm going to show you guys how to take your Fusion 360 3D model and mark out all the spots and then put that into Blender to then be rendered. Uh, I already made the model. I'm not going to be showing you guys how to make a model or anything like that on Fusion. This is mostly just for rendering and on Blender. I can make a video on how to make a model and stuff like that later, but right now, this is just that. Okay, so once you have your model, all you really need to do, my model is pretty complex, so I need to make sure everything that I want to be one thing is together. So I just combine all of that, and then I usually just press combine just to see what's part of what, just to get my bearings. So whenever you want, I'm going to be making an animation with this model, so whenever you want to make a like parts that move, you have to keep them separate bodies. So as you can see, that's like what I did with this. This I want to move, these I want to move, I want that to move. The buttons can stay the same. So all that's fine. I think we're good with combining. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is make sure for like glass and things like that, I have bodies already like, I don't need bodies, but I need planes already set for glass. I already kind of went ahead and did that with these, so we're already good on that. So yeah, on my glass, make sure you have a plane already there. I did that beforehand. Okay, so now I want to make like certain parts different colors and different things. So what I do is I basically just go into sketch, and then I mark out where I want those seams to be. So I want that to be a different color, and then all you have to do is go into split face, press the face you want to split, which is this. It will show it by those like black lines. That means that it's a different face. I'm just gonna cut it. It won't actually affect the model really. I'll just put that line there and separate the planes. That's important for when you are making them look like different colors. Okay. Alright, so basically all you have to do now is press on your plane that you want to do the color, press A for appearance, and then you can go down. It doesn't matter at all what you put on for the material. It can literally be anything. It does not matter for this part. Like I'll put sand or something there. Some of them might not work, but you can just go through and drag and grab whichever ones. Oh, being dumb. Make sure it's on face up here on the apply part, because then it will only do that part of it. So right there, that's good. This, I want it to be its own thing. I don't think it's fully. I recommend not having too many parts going on. Like, make sure almost all of this gray is gone, because it can start to get confusing, and it just makes when you're coloring it in Blender a lot easier. some reason those faces do not want to turn green. I don't really know what's going on, but sometimes stuff like that happens. Just kind of gotta work with it. Okay, so this is our one piece that we want to have on its own. So to do this, you need to press... I usually do this. There's a few ways you can do it. This is my way of doing it. Save as mesh. Make sure it's an OBJ. That is very important. OBJ is like the most important thing for the whole thing. And then I usually go into refinement and just put that on high, just to get as best quality as I can. Okay, that's good. Rocket, espresso, left tank. I'll put this in here. Doesn't really matter where you put stuff, but okay. I'm gonna save this just so I don't lose anything I just did. And then check my files, make sure they're all in the right spot. Yep. All right, and with that, that is everything you need to do in Fusion 360. Now we can go on to Blender. Okay, so now that we're done in Fusion, we just go into Blender, clear your scene, and then do import, OBJ, find wherever they are in your files. They're here, select them all, import, and then it should have all your pieces. Right now the colors are gonna look weird. That's how it should look. We'll get into fixing that later. Okay. So now that we've done that, let's break it down into parts. Let's do the body first, since it's got a lot of issues. Okay, so now you go into materials, and then it'll show you all of the different ones. To see what you're selecting, go into edit mode. As you can see, the polygons are gonna look pretty weird, all janky all over the place, but using those, you can then select and see which one is which. And since this has pre-saved it, that means that all of that data is already there, so we don't have to deal with separating them in Blender. So now in Blender, we can actually find better materials to replace that. But in these, I have all these materials I can use. Like I can replace that with this, make it look pretty cool. Okay, and then go down here, go into shader editor, and now it shows you all your nodes. That will be important for later. All right, now object. All right, so we know that this one is equal to that. So now all I have to do really, I'll do like this color for right now. Just drag and drop. Right now you won't see it until you go into this. Here's what it will look like actually slightly being rendered. I'll show you how to render it better once I get to that point. But here's what it looks like just by dragging and dropping it. I usually just go through, try to find whatever material I think looks the best. It could take a while to figure it out, so I just kind of slide through, look around. There's plenty of free materials out there. This is kind of cool. I'll just try it. That's pretty cool. Not what I need it for, but interesting. And then once I find one I like, I usually just mess around with the dials until I get it the way I want it to be. You could also find like, I think this is like a good plastic. You could find a plastic you like, and then just go into here and change out the color. Like, say I want like a blue plastic. I might do something like that for this, but we'll see. I'd like to find something a bit more complex. I'm not going to use this, I'm just curious. Oh, pretty. It'll look even better once you actually render it out. So yeah, this usually takes me a while of just putting something on, seeing how it looks, and then changing it. A lot of them are organized too. Like, you can kind of just follow the trails and see where they take you. So like, normal is like the amount that it projects out and in. So it kind of gives that fakeness of depth. Roughness just removes a lot of the reflection. And then this is the base color. So you can kind of change it around depending on what you need. That's basically all you really need to know for the nodes. You can get really complex with it, but most of the time you don't really need all that. Okay, and now I'll go back to here, work my way down. This is gray, so that's a top part. How does this dark one look? Okay, and with that, we have the finished thing, basically, more or less. But I'm still missing some parts. If you look, like inside the glass, I still need to do, and then in here. But I want those to be animated. So I'm gonna work on those separately at a different time. Maybe I'll make a video on that too. That's something I'm not super familiar with, so I need to kind of test and figure that out on my own. But yeah, that's how I go from my Blender model to this. It's pretty good. It will look better once you actually render it. This is just like a preview, and like add lighting and stuff. But for right now, this is pretty good. Maybe I'll make a video on how to render too, if people want to know how to do that. But yeah.